Hello, ladies, if anybody there. Hey, Connie, I'm sorry about that. I guess I used up all of my hours on StreamYard without upgrading and having to pay more money. And I didn't want to pay any more money, so I just backed out and I started on YouTube. Be done with it. Got to go in and change my thumbnail. Oh, it's been a day. I'm really tired because I've been out in the yard cleaning out my shed. It's a long story. What is going on? I can't even get on YouTube here on my computer. Because I know that old thumbnail come up and I don't want that thumbnail on there. Whew. Somebody didn't like my uh, campfire video last night. I guess I lost a subscriber, or either YouTube did it. You know how they delete out old subscribers that don't go online. Let's see what I can do about changing this. And then we'll get with it. How's everybody doing today? Where is my thumbnail? Get this all set up. We'll have it made, y'all. I'm going to delete that old one out so it doesn't interfere with this. Make sure I've got my settings correct. I don't know what is going on with my computer. I just put it in there and then it wouldn't let me save the changes. This is crazy. Crazy, y'all. It's not, even YouTube is going to be ornery with me today. But oh well, it's good enough to do the live. Get back over here. Bring my chat up on the screen so I can chat with you ladies. Let's see, we got Connie, T. Sharon, Gladys. It shows I've got 10 watching, but don't have quite that many in chat. Let me get it up on live chat instead of top chat, because I always forget to change that. Hi, Sharon. How are you doing? I got T. Sharon, Sharon Hanson. I've got Connie Jones, Gladys Pellegrino. How are you doing today, y'all? I've been out there. My son surprised me, or didn't surprise me. I knew he was coming, but it was a surprise that he was coming to begin with, because he had not been over here in so long. Yesterday, not yesterday, but day before, Saturday, and the anonymous giver had sent. I was fixing dinner, cooking, and the anonymous giver sent me a message saying that I had a pickup at Walmart between 11 and 12. I says, oh my God, I'm cooking. What do I do? So, Walmart is not that far from me. So I just turned all the burners off on the stove and left everything. I had some shrimp thawing out on the counter because I had them in the freezer. So I jumped in the car, ran to Walmart, picked up my flowers, as you can see. Then there was a big container full of cheese balls. It was a little mandevilla plant, and it was a yellow one. And I put that in the arbor leading into the garden. I said it'll be so pretty to have a vine, a mandevilla vine growing up over that arbor with the clematis with pretty yellow flowers on it. That would be so pretty. Because I've got a pink one at the other arbor over on this side of the yard. But it's not bloomed since I've had it there. I don't know why it's not bloomed. Maybe I don't put the right fertilizer or something to it. I don't know. But we'll see what happens this summer. But anyway, there were 6 bags of mulch or wood chips that I had to get. So right now my trunk is full of wood chips. And my son and his wife were going to unload it for me when they were here Saturday. And I was just so wore out from doing mowing the day before and cleaning, doing my spring cleaning in the yard. Till I just didn't want to mess with trying to pull stuff out of the shed and straighten it all out, because I knew it was a mess and it would take me forever. And they had already said that they needed to leave about 3 o'clock. So I said, well, we only got a few hours and I don't want to spend it just dragging crap out of the shed, and it would take longer than that. But anyway, I got out there doing that this morning. And I've already spent about 3 hours out there dragging stuff out of the shed, going through stuff, throwing stuff in the throwaway pile and trying to straighten it up to where I can get those bags of wood chips in there until I can get ready to use them in the garden. Because I don't want to leave them out and let it rain on them or anything else, because then the bags are too heavy for me to fool with. So I was going to set them inside the shed just temporarily. But like I said, it had to be cleaned out first. So that's what I'm busy doing. Roostar, yes, sir, you are, or yes, ma'am, you are with us right now. Yeah, I started a live on StreamYard, and StreamYard would not even let me in my own live. It was crazy. It wouldn't connect with YouTube. And it must have been that I used all my hours up, because for the free plan, you can use 20 hours a month for free and get up to 6 people on the screen with you. If you want more than that, you've got to pay. You got to upgrade. And I'm not sure how much that costs a month. I haven't checked into it. And if you want more than 6 people up on the screen with you, you have to upgrade. And that costs more money. Well, I've been going with the free plan, just testing the waters, because I wasn't sure if I really wanted to upgrade and stay in StreamYard. So that was the problem. They were telling me basically that I used all my hours and they weren't letting me go live. So I just went back to YouTube and got my live going on YouTube, and we're good to go. So I got 14 watching. And let me get back here. It says edit. Be right back with you. I got something else I need to change. I went past her head here, and I didn't give me a note. It didn't give you a notification. Well, I'm sorry. Let's see, it'll let me save it this time. It may not. Yeah, we had a warning last night, a weather warning that we could get severe weather later this afternoon, closer to evening, that we might get possible heavy rain with hail up to like marble size, I think they said. So I was trying to get all this done this morning and get those bags of mulch out of the car and get them in the shed before it rained today, whenever that will be. Because, sometimes the rain comes sooner than they say. Sometimes it comes later. Sometimes it doesn't come at all. So now we're back. Let me get on live chat instead of top chat. Yeah, I got 15 in here so far. Well, that's pretty good since we had such a mess getting it going before. My arthritis in my hands acting up. It really doesn't hurt unless I go like that. And then the pressure in my knuckles, it doesn't really hurt. It causes just a tiny bit of pain because they're stiff and they won't bend any further than that. So I guess I need to get me some ibuprofen. Usually the ibuprofen fixes me up. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and get some. I got a bottle of water right here already, so I can take me some ibuprofen. I don't know if anybody else has tried it for just arthritis or if you've got inflammation in your joints, your neck, your spine, from maybe neck and back injury like I have. But I found ibuprofen fixes me up better than any of the prescription medications do. I mean, the doctor had given me a prescription for ibuprofen with something else in it, and I'd take it. I couldn't tell a difference. I still hurt. I just started taking plain old ibuprofen off the counter, just plain cheap Value Plus brand. It eliminates the pain. So that's what I do from now on. I just go with the cheap stuff. Only thing is, I do have to pay for it. Where, if you get it with the prescription, the insurance pays for it. I can't take that just, oh, you can't take it, huh? Yeah, I know. I think I've heard several people say that they can't take ibuprofen. But it works great for me if you're able to take it. It sure fixes me up. It's nice meeting you too, Ruth Star. I don't think I've seen you in my live chats before, but welcome. We got Linda Blaylock in here now, and we got Connie Carroll. I don't recognize Connie Carroll's name either. She's a newbie. I know T. Sharon, Susan, Linda Blaylock, Gladys, Connie Jones, that is, Susan Proctor, And some of these other ones are some of my regular ladies that come in here all the time. My neighbor brought up 2 bags of soil I got over the weekend, and I got them in the planters. Well, good. Well, I've got that garden soil put in all of my totes, all of my pots. I do have a few small little pots that I want to transplant some of my little plants, that I came up from seeds. I want to transplant them, thin them out into these little pots that I've got. But then I've still got a lot of garden soil out there that I need to, I guess, put more to my rock gardens and stuff like that. But I was thinking yesterday, I said, it'd be great if I had the stuff to make a raised bed, I'd take what soil I got left out there and go behind my shed back here in the garden area. And I said, I think I've got just enough room to build a small raised bed. I was thinking I could buy 2 of those 8-foot posts and cut them in half. That would be 4 foot high. And the posts are not that expensive. And then I could get boards, kind of wide boards or something that they could use for panels to go around the sides and the end, at least 4 feet tall, I said that wouldn't be too bad. It wouldn't be too difficult to put together myself, but I said, I don't know if I could come up with the money just to buy that. And I'm not sure what would be the best to put on the sides of a raised bed. I know some people use the galvanized panels, but then they have to brace them with something. They have to have more posts to put on the long side of the raised bed to support that, so it doesn't bow out from the weight of the garden soil you put in there. But yeah, I always had real good luck growing in the ground before here, but I have to plant between the rocks even in my garden. I couldn't make a straight row. But then when I got that Bermuda grass in my garden spot, well, that took care of that, because there's no way you can get rid of that Bermuda grass that's in there now. And it just it spreads and spreads. And I guess sooner or later it'll be all over the rest of the yard. But right now, it's pretty well contained just under that canopy, right in that garden spot. Susan, you pulled your bicep? Oh my goodness. Oh, Connie Carroll. I thought the name looked familiar. I couldn't remember if she had been in chat before. That's probably why, because she was in here the other night. Well, good, Gladys. We can both eat cheese balls together. You can eat yours and I'll be eating mine. Yeah, but I would love it if I could. It's just a little man developed plant about this tall, but it looks real good. It's just like the one I got over here at this arbor, only this one is supposed to be pink, and it's all the way up to the top of the arbor, but it hasn't put out flowers yet. So I'm anxious to see putting this yellow one over here at this, right at the garden entrance, when it starts growing, if it'll put out those yellow flowers like it says, and because I think it would be pretty. Well, so far they do not have any rules and regulations saying that you cannot have a garden here where I live. I mean, you can even have up to 12 chickens and a rooster, one rooster at your house. You can't have goats or anything that they consider a farm animal. And I don't know, I always thought a chicken was a farm animal, but they don't consider chickens a farm animal. That's kind of crazy. Gladys says she's eating her cheese balls right now. I haven't opened mine yet. I've been so busy. And about the time I thought about opening them last night, I ended up out there with the fire. Because some of my subscribers said, oh, I love the fires you have. I love your campfires. It's relaxing to watch the flames and just hear you talk. Because, I'm not live when I do it. And really, you couldn't see a whole lot except the fire out there last night. I've got to come up with a way to put a light out there when I've got a fire going. I guess I can run my, I've got a light in the greenhouse. I didn't think about that. I could take out to the fireplace and hang it from the tree limb or something and have me a light out there when I want a campfire. So at least when I video, you can see something other than just the fire. And I may even try to go live out there next time. I'm not sure. That's a shame. I can't imagine an HOA that would not allow someone to grow a vegetable garden. I mean, we have HOA here, but like I said, it's not in our restrictions yet. And I hope they never can put it in there. Because, I mean, you like your flowers and your bushes. You know, I have rose bushes everywhere. I'd go crazy if I couldn't dig a hole in the ground and plant something. Even plant it in a pot. I mean, hey. Yeah, I haven't decided what day this month we'll do the birthday live. But it's coming up. I just have to decide what night or what day to do it. So far, we got 3 birthdays for this month. I know there's Susan, there's Gladys, and was it Shelley or somebody else had a birthday this month? I don't remember. And I guess y'all are wondering about the title and the thumbnail of this video. But I was going to wait till some more people got in here before I spilled the beans. Gladys says, I want to see you in your... It's behind the heart, Gladys. I can't read that word. Your tent. Oh, I don't know when I'll put the tent up. I'll probably have to put it up before my watermelon vines start running across the ground. Because if I don't, I'll be putting the tent on top of the watermelon vines. It's a job to get it up. I mean, one person can do it, but there's a lot of stakes, and I don't guess I have to put all the stakes up with it. You know, just put the main tent up and put it maybe 4 stakes, just enough to keep it upright for a little while so y'all can see it. I need to take it out and put it up anyway to check everything on it, you know. See, we got 23 in here now. I guess I could spill the beans. You know, I did get an April Fool joke played on me this morning. I had my anonymous giver send me a message telling me that they had a big truck coming bringing them a bunch of crawdads. And they asked me, did I like crawdads? I said, well, I've never had the opportunity to even eat them but one time. And that's when I went to a company picnic years and years ago. I just spit my cough drop out. And it was one of those Cajun bowls, they called it. And they had a refrigerator truck come in from Louisiana. And it was full of crawdads and crab and all kind of seafood. And it was live. Those things were crawling around in them net bags they pulled out of that truck. They took them out of that truck, and some of the guys took a bag and they take it to those great big old pots they had out there, and they just dump them right in, and them crawling around. And they said, well, you got to cook them while they're alive. You can't wait till they die and then cook them. You know, you can't do that. So that was my first experience, and only experience really, with crawdads. And I thought it was amazing how they set up these long tables everywhere with the vinyl tablecloths on them. And they had 4 or 5 pots. I mean, gigantic pots, way a couple of feet deep. Big old aluminum pots. And they take those pots around to each table when, you know, it had a big net in it, like the like a deep fryer that they could pull it up and the liquid would, drain out. They take one of those nets full from one pot. They just dump it across that long table, all the whole length of it. And then they get another pot and they go down the length of another one. Because it was a great big company pickup. There was probably 100 or more people there. But what grossed me out was these guys were around and they were sucking on the heads of these crawdads. Oh, that was gross to me. And they had this look like mustard, I called it baby poop, going down the sides of their mouth and their chin from them crawdads. That grossed me out. I said, I don't want no part of that. I did get a couple and I took the heads off of them and I threw the heads away and I ate the tail part of them. And that was pretty good. But I said, to go through that mess, I would not buy them to do that. But everybody loved them. It was a big thing. And the church I used to go to, the pastor, he's Cajun. I mean, he's from Louisiana. He's from, he's definitely born and raised Louisianian. So he's a Cajun. And every time the grocery store out here gets crawdads, he'll go in there and buy them out, basically. And then he has him a big crawdad bowl because he loves crawdads. But I never thought that much of them myself. I didn't grow up eating that kind of stuff, so I said, we used to catch them in the ditch back home. I thought that was what we called a crawdad. Yeah, and then she turned around and told me in the message, she said, because I was getting worried, I thought to myself, well, how do you cook them? What do I do with them? What do I do with the ones that, I can't eat right then? And she said, they're going to be alive. They're going to be on ice and you can keep them for about an hour, but then you can't let them die. You got to do something with them. I said, how am I going to cook them? What am I going to do with them? And then she comes back and she says, April Fool. I text back to her and I said, well, you got me on this one because you had me going. And yes, you guys, I cannot do this anymore. And it's the end of the road. All of that is April Fool, guys. So I got y'all, especially Gladys, because I saw her comment when she first came in before I went live. And she was saying, Connie, what's going on? That thumbnail's scaring me. I said I couldn't resist. I've got to do an April Fool joke on my subscribers. So April Fool, y'all. So all of you that was wondering what in the world's going on and was, just like real worried, well, am I leaving YouTube or what am I going to do? It's April Fool. I got my son last year so bad, Susan says. But I couldn't resist because I said, I got to do something. And this is the only thing I could think of. I said, well, just put up a thumbnail and a title, kind of like you're done with YouTube, that you're just not doing this anymore, and get people worried, get them to wondering what in the world's going on, and then say, surprise, April Fool. Gladys says she's going to get me. Well, I don't get to play an April Fool joke on people, And I said, what better way to get a bunch of people all at one time than to go live and do an April Fool joke? How did you get your son last year? Or you said you got him one time, Susan. What did you do? What kind of joke did you play on him for April Fool? I saw a great new camera that was blood red and black trim at the car dealer Camaro, and took a picture because I knew he would love it. But then I told him I won the lottery and I was sending it to him. Oh no. That was almost a cruel joke. But I can imagine you got him with that. Because he probably figured, oh my God, I'm going to get my dream car. He called me to see if someone had hacked my Facebook account and said, no, open the picture. And he was like, oh, wow. And asked how much I won. Poor guy. That's kind of, and it wasn't an April Fool joke that I played on my ex-husband. We were married at the time, and it was right after we moved out here to Texas. He'd always wanted a Jeep, and he showed me one somewhere one time. He said, that's the kind of Jeep I want. Well, for Christmas, I was in the toy department looking for something to get the kids for Christmas. And I think they were in school or something. Or maybe my son was with me. I don't remember. But I come across this toy Jeep. And it was only about that long and about that tall. But it looked almost just like the one he said he wanted. I think my son was with me. And he was just a little thing. But he knew what I was fixing to do. He knew what I was up to. He said, I told him, I said, I think we need to get this for your dad for Christmas. I said, let's play a trick on him. Let's buy him a Jeep and tell him we got him something he's always wanted. And we took it one step further. We got great big boxes. We'd wrap up the little Jeep in a little box, wrap it in Christmas paper, put it inside another bigger one, wrap it up, put it in a bigger one, wrap it up. We kept going. We had 5 or 6 boxes that he had to tear open to get down to the little box to open what he's always wanted. And oh my God, you should have seen his reaction when he finally opened that little box and pulled out that Jeep. I said, well, we wanted to get you something you always wanted. And I said, you've always said you wanted that Jeep. So we got you the Jeep. He pulled it out and he says, oh, hell. Yeah, I can imagine Susan, his reaction. After a bit, I said April Fools, and he moaned and then said, I can't get mad. This was a good one. Well, I didn't know. It wasn't April Fool's, so I couldn't play an April Fool joke on him. But I said we could play a little trick on him for Christmas. Because we couldn't afford to buy him a Jeep. We already had a car, and he had his personal truck. And he had a company truck that he drove. And we really couldn't afford to buy a Jeep separate. So that was the only way I knew we could get him something he wanted, was to buy him that little Jeep. Connie, are you leaving us? Oh, you got to run? Okay, Connie. We'll see you later, Connie Carroll. I hope I got you with this April Fool joke. I like to keep people laughing and cutting up. You can probably tell that. Susan says, I hate April Fools, but you like to play jokes. You like to play April Fool's jokes on your son. Yeah, Connie Carol, you have a blessed day. And I hope you don't get too many more April Fool's jokes. Try playing a joke on somebody else. But you know what? With the combination of my son having a little bit of me in him and his dad, if I'd have pulled that Jeep joke on him, he probably would have got a gun and shot me. No, he wouldn't have done that, but he probably would have felt like it. Oh, you usually go shopping at this time, and my husband and son offered to go do it for me. Well, that was nice. Gladys says, you're going to get it, Linda. Just wait. I think maybe my anonymous giver probably saw the thumbnail and figured out that it was probably a April Fool's joke. So she was gonna get an April Fool's joke and play it on me first, and she got me good. I didn't know what in the world I was gonna do with crawdads. I mean, I would have done something. I'd have cooked them. I'd have tried to eat them, and like I said, I did taste them at that company picnic, and the tail part was really good. But I couldn't handle that yellow mustardy stuff coming out of their head. I guess it was their brains and stuff. I don't know. And it may have tasted good, but I wasn't putting it in my mouth. Now, y'all can't tell me that somebody else has not already played an April Fool joke on you today, or you've not played an April Fool's joke on someone else today. Okay, Roostar, have a blessed day. Be wary of the April Fool's jokes. They're not going to know whether to come in my next live or not after this one, are they? Roostar and Connie Carroll, y'all have a blessed day. I hate April Fools. You like to play the jokes, though, Susan. I know you do, because you just by the one you played on your son. Yeah, the little bit of meanness in me couldn't resist doing this, so I don't do pranks, and I hate. Well, you said you did it to your son. You told him you won the lottery and that you won that car and you were giving it to him. Yeah, you hate it when they do them to you, Susan, but you like to do it to other people. Well, let's face it, when the anonymous subscriber, or not a subscriber, but the anonymous giver did that to me, played that April Fool joke on me, it made me laugh. It put me in a good mood, and it made me feel better about doing this today. I said, well, now I'm going to get some more ladies, just like I was already got taken on April Fool. That was the only time you'd ever done one, Susan? Well, I thought I'd get a smile put on all you ladies' face today, make you chuckle a little bit, get you in a good mood. I said we didn't have to stay on here long, but I thought it'd be a great way to just get everybody laughing and cutting up for today. Told me he has the flu and hasn't been able to eat anything and won't for a couple of days. Oh, that's so sad. Poor man. Gladys said, no, my boys know better. That was funny. Well, I hope it was, because I know if I'd been a member of somebody's channel, like y'all or mine, or subscriber, and I went to their live to get in it one day, and I saw that thumbnail and that title on the video, I'd be wondering too, well, what's going on? Are they leaving YouTube, or what are they fixing to do? I wouldn't know what was going on by that. But I said, man, this is one way I can get at least maybe 20 or more people and do an April Fool joke on all of them at one time. Yeah, that's why he fell for it, because you don't usually do things like that. Why does it have a hole? Where does it have a hole? I don't have any holes in my shirt. Is that April Fool, Gladys? I got a pineapple on it. We're over here. It's supposed to be like a pineapple. I don't know what it is. It looks like a pineapple to me. I don't live in a pineapple under the sea, but I have a pineapple on my shirt. Can you tell I'm in a stupid mood today? I knew it was April Fool, Gladys. But you had me because I was looking. It's like, I don't have a hole on my shirt. Yeah, it's more intense when you don't usually play jokes on people, especially at April Fool. And then all of a sudden you do something like that because they really believe it and they fall for the joke. But then it makes you feel bad when you see the disappointment in their face when they realize it was just a joke. Because my ex, he was digging in them boxes like, man, he couldn't wait to find out what in the world was in there. It was something he wanted. And then he got to that last box, and it was that little toy Jeep. Oh, I got so much more to do today. I got to finish my shed. I got half the stuff thrown out in the yard. And I said, good. I got my live coming up at 1:30. That'll make me take a break and cool off because I was sweating. Oh, my gosh. It's hot out there. It's like 80 degrees today. But it's supposed to cool off a few degrees tomorrow after this rain comes through tonight. But by Wednesday, it'll be warmed back up again. I think it's going to be in the 60s tomorrow, something like that. Which that's not bad. That's comfortable to me. Where's little buddy? He's outside. He's already been in and ate twice. He's outside. He's probably in the swing sleeping. Because, I took the cushions off the swing and I washed them and put them back on. So all that's clean now. So he's got him a clean bed out there. And I got a clean seat to sit on. It was so dusty. Maybe he's out playing April Fool's jokes on people. My son liked little buddy, and he wasn't afraid of my son or my daughter-in-law at all. He just went right up to him and let him pet him. And Regina says, well, he is a sweet cat. I said, I told you he was. I said, he's the sweetest cat I've ever seen. And I said, he always wants your attention. He's kind of like Crybaby, the cat I used to have years ago. That cat demanded your attention. If you were sitting down, he was in your lap. And if you ignored him, he'd get up on your chest and take his paw and tap your face like, pay attention to me, And little buddy's kind of like that. He likes attention. It's 82 where Susan is. Living my best life at 60. Well, hello. How are you doing on this April Fool's Day? Oh, no, you may be in a... Well, that too, because this is close to Tornado Alley. We're not too far. We do get tornadoes down here. But they said we had a possibility of damaging hail and, strong rains and a little bit of wind this evening. But it's supposed to not hit till maybe 5, 6, 7 o'clock, something like that, I think, unless they've changed it. My sister years ago bought me a 45 muskrat loved by Captain and Tennille and wrapped it in a huge box and taped an extra piece of cardboard over it so I couldn't see it, so I thought it was empty. Hi, Mary Zener. How are you? Have you had April Fool's jokes played on you today? Y'all hit the thumbs up button. I've only got 6 thumbs up. Some people came in just to see what was going on. They're gone now. We dropped down to 20 people, but that's okay. It come down to Dallas from Oklahoma. Yeah, that's the way most of our tornadoes come, from that direction. Well, I guess you figured out by now my whole live today was an April Fool joke. I wanted to get everybody wondering about the thumbnail and about the title of the video or the live, and get them to thinking, well, what's going on, and it worked. But it was April Fool joke. And I got about 25 people in here when I told them it was all an April Fool joke. I'm not going anywhere, y'all. I'm right here. That is, unless a tornado comes through this evening and takes my place out. I feel pretty good today. I slept good last night. I felt like getting out there messing with the shed today because I was rested. But for the last couple of nights, I didn't sleep good. And when my son was over here and my daughter-in-law, I didn't feel like doing anything. Messing with that shed was the last thing on my mind. I said, I don't care if the wood chips stay in my car for 6 months. And what did y'all think of my cake video? I tried to make parts of it funny, but I'm not good at doing that, So I had one subscriber, one person that watched the video, leave me a comment. And yeah, I wore a mask outside messing in that shed, but I'm still coughing from it. I've drank my fire cider this morning. And I think what it is, my eyes were almost swelled shut this morning. And they're still pretty bad. Especially my top eyelid. And I realized, even as hard as I tried not to breathe the smoke from that fire last night, evidently I did breathe some of it. I did get some in my eyes. Because it caused my eyes to swell up something awful this morning when I got up. And I know that's why I'm coughing. It's from the fire that I had going. Susan's eating green bean casserole. Eat some for me too. And Gladys says, but I still love you, Linda. Yeah, I woke up this morning and my eyes didn't feel right. So I got up and went to the restroom and looked in the mirror. And my top eyelid was swollen so much on both eyes that my eyes were only like half open. And then, of course, the bottom was swelled up more, too. And they're still swollen, but not as bad as they were when I first got up. It almost scared me. I said, oh, my God, what did I eat that I was allergic to? Or what did I come in contact with that I'm so allergic to that it made my eyes swell up that bad? And then I remember, well, you dummy, you had a fire going last night. You were burning those cedar trees. And I'm allergic to the cedar, so there you go. So hopefully in a day or two, the swelling will go down quite a bit. It's terrible to have allergies. No, but what I started to say about the cake video, there was part of it, that homemade icing was giving me such a fit. I was literally using my fingers to move the icing up on the cake because I couldn't work it with a knife. And one of my viewers left in the comments, oh my God, you're using your fingers to ice in that cake. That's a no, 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 no. And I thought to myself, well, I sent her a message back, a reply. And I said, well, as many times as I washed my hands through that cake video, you know my fingers were clean. My hands were clean. And I said I could not get that icing to cooperate any other way but with my fingers or my hand. It wouldn't work with the knife. I said, well, maybe some people will laugh at it and think it's funny the hard time I was having with that icing. It's funny some of the comments that I get from people sometimes. Oh, you got a snowstorm coming tomorrow, Mary? Oh, wow. See, I can't even fathom snow because it's been 80 degrees here. It's like it's summer here now. The next cake I ever do, if I try to do an Easter egg cake, I'm going to do it the way I did the one that I made for my son's classroom when he was small. I'm not going to tell you how I did it, but I'll show you in a video because it was a lot easier than this one that I did. Did you eat any of that cake? Yeah, I ate a small piece. And I called or sent messages to my neighbors around here because my son wouldn't take it home with him or didn't want me to take it over there yesterday. He says, Mom, we can't eat all that cake and I'm not taking it to work. He said, that cake is not going in my car. He said, I just know I'll end up...
Your account renewed. Customer ID is 9W2QCX.
Oh.
This is to inform you that we have renewed your...
I don't know who that is from, but I haven't renewed anything. Now, where was I? I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, I did eat some of it. And it's so good. Oh, my God. Because it was like butterscotch icing. There was strawberry icing on part of it. Part of that cake was butter pecan. Part of it was like a lemon cake. And then I had the homemade sugar icing on the top that I put in different colors. So it was a good cake. No doubt about it. It was so moist. But that was a big double cake, and I said, there's no way, and I couldn't even put it in the freezer. So I messaged neighbors around close by, and I told them, I said, I just baked this big Easter cake for a video, and I said, I'm asking neighbors if they want part of it, some of it. So I wanted to know if you wanted part of it, I'll bring it to you. They messaged back, and they said, sure. So I took Brent and Diane some, and they exchanged at the door. They gave me a dozen eggs, and they took the cake. Because they're the ones that have the chickens across the street that you hear in the videos sometimes. And people thought it was my chickens. It's theirs. And then I took Randy and Gerald some of the cake across the street in that the new house there. I took my neighbor on this side of me some cake. I took Leanne some. I sent a message to Bonnie or called her. She wasn't answering yesterday, but she did leave a message on her answering machine saying that she didn't feel good that day, so she was not taking calls. So I put a piece in the refrigerator for her. And then I messaged Jim and Mary down the street. If they, told them about it and asked if they wanted some. Well, they didn't reply. But when I went down the street to take Leanne's to her, there was a car there, so I knew it was some of their kids, their daughters with their grandkids there. And I said that's probably why they didn't reply, because they had company for Easter. So I just put a hunk of it in the refrigerator in case they did reply. I'd have it to take down there. Connie says, I think that sometimes people expect perfection. They don't realize that you are someone that wants to show what happens and if things aren't perfect. Because, well, see, I told people that right from the get-go when I first started my cooking videos, especially. I said, now I'm not editing out a bunch of my stuff out of my videos. I said, if I make a goof, you're going to see it. And if I can do a correction to that goof, you're going to see it. Because I thought that would benefit people, you know. I mean, like my cake, it goofed with my icing, but I took care of it. I remedied the problem. I got my cake icing, and I used almost a whole bag of walnuts on it. I used a small bag of jelly beans on it. And I was going to dye coconut green with the food coloring and put that around the bottom of it. And I decided not to because I'd already spent so much time with it. I didn't want to fool with it anymore. I said, it's got enough on there. I said, it'll be so sweet now that people will only be able to eat 2 mouthfuls of it and they're going to be done. But it was a good cake. It really was. Yeah, Connie, and some of my subscribers have mentioned that to me in comments that they've sent to me. They said, I love your videos because even if you do something wrong or something doesn't turn out exactly the way it's supposed to, you show how you take care of the problem and make it right, you know? Because, you know, anytime you do stuff like that, it may not go 100% exactly the way you think. And what are you going to do? Throw your cake away because your icing don't want to go on the way you want it to? No, I'm not. I'll work with it. I'll figure something out. And I did. It didn't end up exactly the way I wanted it decorated, but it was okay and it was good. It was a one-of-a-kind cake. That's the only one like it, and that's probably the only one that will ever be just like that cake. My phone, goodness gracious. See, I think that sometimes, you know. T. Sharon says, I fixed 2 briskets, potato salad, baked beans, macaroni salad, deviled eggs, carrot cake for my family. All 32 of them. Oh, wow, you had a crowd. That was like a homecoming, wasn't it? Connie says, I love that even experienced cook bakers make mistakes and love the way you are. So real good. Yes, so perfect and always working out yummy. I know. I've seen so many of these chefs that do cooking videos, and there's so much of it edited out, and they make it look like it's so easy and everything turns out perfect. But you can tell that the ending product was added at the end of the video. And sometimes I've wondered, okay, I said, I'm wondering if it did work out exactly like that. Or did you have problems and you took care of the problems and then you just showed the end result? You didn't show what you did to correct anything. And that's what I told people I was not going to do. I'm not going to edit all that out. I mean, you're going to see it. It's real life. This is a country kitchen. I'm going to show you exactly the way it is. Yeah, that was like a family reunion. 32 people, family members, yeah. Because a lot of people tell me, Connie, that you're real. You're not a stage show. You know, you're not put on to make everything look perfect. I said, no, by far. There is nothing perfect here, I'll tell you. Yeah, because, you know, people that watch my videos, if they try to do some of the stuff that I've done even, and they're not experienced cooks, maybe they're just starting out cooking, and something goes wrong, they don't know what to do. Then they might just throw everything out and say, I can't, you know, I can't do it. And I like to show if something goes wrong, most of the time you can fix the problem. You don't have to throw it away. And it might end up better than it was intended to be. Yeah, if she fed 32 people, she's been busy. Just like my nephews, I know, and my brothers were busy when my one of my last remaining living aunts, one of my dad's sisters that's still alive, she turned 90 the 23rd of this month, I think it was. And my brothers and my nephews gave her a cookout party. I guess they barbecued a pig or something. I don't know. And they took everything up to her house and did it all in her yard. And they showed a picture of her and all her nephews, which my brothers were included, the ones that were there. I think Eddie, Donnie. I don't think Mitch was there, but I know Eddie and Donnie were there in the picture. But I couldn't understand, well, why did she just take a picture of her and all of the nephews? And then I got to thinking, well, she did that because they were the ones that planned and put everything together to have the cookout for. And they did all the cooking, as far as the pig pit, cooking and all that. So I'm sure. And I said I wished I could have been there, but I was so glad that they posted that picture. My aunt was standing in the middle, and she had nephews of hers on each side. It's on Facebook, Gladys. I'll have to bring it up on Facebook if I possibly can. I don't know. I can't do it right now. But yeah, I got on there and I wasn't even looking for it because I didn't know they posted it. And I said, oh my God, there's Aunt Gladys and all her nephews, my brothers and my cousins up there. Something she wanted them to do. I naturally would have expected her to put everybody in the picture that was there, but she didn't. It was just all the nephews. I said, well, it had to be because they were the ones responsible for the cooking and stuff. Getting it all put together. Because when my brother Mike did my mom's luau on her birthday, because he asked her what she wanted for her birthday, and she said a luau. And he had a barbecue pit on a trailer. It was a trailer built like a barbecue pit. And that way he could load it down, cook whatever he wanted to, leave it right on the pit, and take it where he was going. So he put the pig on the pit, I think the night before, he said, and it slowed cooked all night. And the next day, he just hooked the trailer to his pickup and drove it down to my mom's house. Drove right up in the driveway with a cooked pig on the grill. Or on the pit. Well, I'll have to come up with the picture somehow, and I'll try to send you a copy of it, Gladys. Yeah, I know I can, Connie. I'll have to find it on Facebook first. And I can't get to Facebook right now, so. Oh, I've had a good time today. Wrestling with my shed, and now in here having to do April Fools with everybody. It's been fun. I've enjoyed the heck out of it. 15 thumbs up. But it's April Fools, y'all. Y'all be careful because the day's not over. You may get more tricks played on you today. You got a lot more of April Fools to go. And my Aunt Gladys is the one that was, her husband before he passed away was chief of police. Chief of police in Wilmington. That's where they lived at the time, and she was a waitress at the Dixie Chick Cafe restaurant down on Front Street in Wilmington. I remember she told me she was waiting on these guys one day, and I guess they were hitting on her, and she told them she was married. And they asked her who she was married to, and she told them, chief of police. And they said, well, if you're married to the chief of police, why are you a waitress in here? Because she said, this is what I like to do. She said, I could work anywhere I wanted to, but this is the job I like. Because I like to be with, talking with and greeting people and waiting on people. And she said, I like working here. That's why I do it. See, how long have we been on here? We've been on here for over an hour, and it don't seem like it's been that long. Oh, I feel good today, y'all. When I lose sleep like I did several nights ago and then did as much as I did during the day, I was totally wore out for the day my son came over. It's like I don't even want to think about unloading in those wood chips or nothing about the shed. Gladys said, the damn pad's blinking. Oh no, has your paperwork game yet received a refurbished one from that program I found? Oh, she's going to get her a refurbished pad? Sometimes they're just, you can't tell that they're not new ones, brand new. You mean to tell me, out of all the people that are in my chat today, you have not played an April Fool joke on anyone today yet? Gladys's pad's playing an April Fool joke on her. It blinks at her like it wants to turn off, and then it don't. April Fool, Gladys. You found a program in her area for people who are disabled and bedridden. Well, that is wonderful, Connie. I never even thought about that. T. Sharon says, nope, haven't even gotten out of bed. Well, I woke up before daylight. I've been waking up before daylight here lately and then not being able to go back to sleep. So I just get up, get me a cup of coffee. I've had my coffee by the time it comes daylight, and then I'm looking for something to do. I've been wearing myself out because I did that the Friday before my son come over here on Saturday. I woke up early. I got up. I started mowing at daylight Friday morning. I mowed all day long. I mean, I've got a big yard. And to put the icing on the cake with me mowing the yard, you know what happened to me? I think I told some people already. I got about halfway through mowing. I got tired and hot and wet, sweaty. And I just wanted to come and sit down and rest a bit, cool off, get something to drink. And then I was going to go back out there and finish mowing. My mower would not cut off. Y'all. I released that bar that goes across the top. You hold it down and it runs. You release that bar and it flips over to the off position, and the motor's supposed to stop running. It would not stop running. I did everything I knew to do, and that thing would not stop running. So I said, oh, the hell with it. I grabbed it. I continued to mow. I mowed until the tank literally ran out of gas before it cut off. Finally come in, ate a bite, rested for a while, went back out there, and I said, well, I got to put gas in the tank to finish mowing. And I only had a little bit to finish. So I put, as long as I've mowed with it, I know about how much I mow on a tank and how much I can mow on half a tank and so forth. So I put about a quarter of a tank in there. And do you know that was just enough to finish mowing what I had to mow? I got to the last little square foot and it quit running, and I said, well, good. I finished the yard and it's cut off because it ran out of gas. I put just enough gas in it then to keep it from drying out because I didn't want the carburetor to dry out inside. And I put it in the shed. I told my son, I said, what in the world do you do with a lawnmower that will not stop running? When he got here Saturday, he said, let me take a look at that mower. So I said, okay, let me get the key. I went out there and we got the mower out of the shed. He said, you got a flashlight? I got a flashlight, gave it to him. I said, what do you need a flashlight for? Just to look under here good, to see if there's anything under there. Well, I don't know what he did, but he's pulled that cord. And I was warning him, I said, if you pull that cord and start it, it's not going to cut off until it runs out of gas. Well, he must have found a lever or something. Or there was something stuck under there or something, and he must have fixed it. Because he started it up, ran a minute, he released the bar, and it shut right off. I said, now why wouldn't it do that with me yesterday? Everybody told me that I mentioned it too. They said you just should have took a hammer to it. I said, oh my God. Take a hammer to my mower. I kicked it a few times. I was getting so aggravated with it. I said, maybe if I kick it hard enough, it'll jar whatever's stuck loose, but it didn't. So I don't know what he did, but there must have been something under there that he saw that you could flip the switch of or something, I don't know, that was stuck that caused it to be able to cut off. But you can't imagine my frustration. I was hot. I was tired. I was sweaty. The last thing I wanted to do was wrestle with that crazy mower that wouldn't turn off. So I was having a time. I mean, you can't imagine when I first realized it's not turning off. I checked the gas. There was a half a tank of gas in it, and it won't turn off. I said, now what do I do? I can't just turn it loose and let it sit there and run, because the way mine is, it jerks, it wobbles, and it'll start turning and it'll start moving. So I had to hold on to it the whole time it was running. Well, there's no telling where it would end up. I just thought to myself, now what am I going to do? At first, I never could get the thing to start. Now I can't get it to stop running. I said, I've had nothing but problems with this mower. But that's the first mower I've ever owned that would not turn off with me. Susan said, I kicked mine once and broke my toe. Well, I didn't kick it with my toe. I kicked it kind of with the side of my foot. I wasn't about to take a chance of breaking a toe. Susan said, I guess I kind of did an April Fool's joke on Jess's boyfriend. I don't get along with him at all, so I told her to give him a kiss for me. She went in and kissed him, and he said, what's that for? She said, Susie told me to give you a kiss. April Fool's. Hee. Susan says, I got my kitchen cleaned up and the dishwasher emptied and refilled and going again. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it probably scared him to death when all of a sudden she walked up to him and just gave him a kiss, and he didn't know what he was getting kissed for. He probably figured, oh no, what's coming now? Because when you act too sweet to them, they think something's up. There's something you want them to do, or something you want. Oh man, I think it's April 14th is when my time flips over on StreamYard. So they're not going to let me go live on StreamYard until at least till the 14th of April. So it might be after that before we have the birthday party for everybody. Because I wanted to be able to get at least the birthday people up on screen with me. But that'll be all right because Gladys is the 18th. I think Susan's is what, like the 14th or so? And then I don't remember the other lady that had a birthday in April. And there's probably more. So even if we have it in the middle of the month, it should be okay. Or at least before Susan goes on her trip. But I don't know if it's not going to flip over to the 14th. It may be the 15th before I can do it. Or we may have to wait till Susan comes back from her casino trip, her shopping trip, her gambling trip, or whatever it is. When are you coming back, Susan? When will you be back home? I mean, you could probably get on it while you're gone, but you'd probably be busy too, and I don't want to interfere with any plans you've got going on your little trip. So we might wait till Susan gets back home before we do it. That'll give StreamYard plenty of time to flip over and start my 20 hours for, the next month, the next 30 days. I really need to check into their upgrade. I don't know how much it costs. But I really don't want to go on anything annually that's going to charge me money every month right now. I mean, you're only going to be gone for a couple of days, right, Susan? Or is it for a week? I don't remember. Kai's birthday's that's right. Kai's birthday's the 17th. And then we got somebody else that had a birthday, another lady. I don't know if it was Shelly, Sharon, or I don't remember. A Silver Dollar City, that's what it was. I knew it sounded like a casino trip. When you say you're going to Silver Dollar City, that sounds like you're going to a gambling casino, right? Sounds like you're going somewhere in Vegas or Louisiana where they got gambling. Because I've never heard of Silver Dollar City. And I was going to look it up on the internet, and I got busy the other day and I forgot. Yeah, I knew Gladys's was the 18th. Kai's is the 17th. Susan's is the 14th. And there was somebody else that had, another lady that had a birthday in April, but I can't remember who it was. And there's Seabreeze. Hello, I've been watching your videos from last week and the week before, just loving your flowers and vegetables. Get energy to do all. Sometimes I don't have the energy. Saturday, I did not have the energy to do anything when my son was here. I overdid it Friday. Monday through Friday, okay. What date is that Monday on? It's bringing up a calendar. Well, good, Seabreeze. I'm glad to have you in my as a subscriber. Oh, Silver Dollar City's in Missouri. Oh, I don't know. There's a lot I can't do anymore. Can't climb up on my house like I used to. Well, I probably could, but I refuse to. So you leave on the 15th, right, Susan? Because her birthday's on the Sunday. She leaves the 15th to go on her trip to Silver Dollar City, and she'll be gone that whole week. What day will you be back? Like the next Sunday, maybe? Oh, we got the RC Van Man. Well, hello, RC Van Man. Welcome to my chat. Tracy, hello. Welcome to chat. Oh, it was the title of the video. I thought you were just asking me in general what I couldn't do anymore. Well, you saw the thumbnail. What was it, the end of the road or something like that? And then I put that name of the title, I cannot do this anymore. It's an April Fool joke. I was getting everybody concerned and worried and wondering what this all about. And to get into chat. And then after everybody got in, I told them it was April Fools. I had about 28 people in here when I said, it's April Fool's, y'all. I got you. Yeah, I know you leave on the 15th, but do you come back that following Sunday? Which is the 21st? We can do it toward that third or last week in April. We don't have to do it at the beginning. They get about 6 or 7 inches when they're open. When they're fully open, they spread open as wide as my hand. They're big flowers, and they're bell-shaped or like cone-shaped. They start at the base, and they go out like this. And they're that big at the open, the biggest point. They're beautiful, and they smell wonderful. Friday late, okay. So we could probably do it any time that week that you get back. Or the weekend, not on the Friday because you'll be recuperating from your trip. We'll do it, Saturday, Sunday, or sometime that following week. Maybe that Sunday, the 21st. I'm not sure. StreamYard should let me back in by then without paying them money. Because, yeah, I thought that would be fun, the next birthday party we did, to have it when all the birthday people could be in chat and get up on the screen with me. So everybody could see the birthday people. Yeah, I got you, Tracy. April Fools. I couldn't resist doing that. I said, what better way to play an April Fool's joke on a lot of people at one time than to get them in live chat. So that's how I did it. I've got seeds for moonflowers if you need some. If you'll send me your mailing address to my Gmail account, I'll send you out a package of seeds. There's my email account or email address. Just send me your mailing address to that email and I'll send you a package of moonflower seeds. I sell quite a few of them on Poshmark and everywhere, but I'll send you a small package of them if you want them. And I gave away a whole bunch of packages of seeds to Kai the other night when at our what was our trivia night. He said he was going to have to get him some pots and stuff to do planting in now because he lives in the city. I didn't realize he lived in the city. He doesn't live out in the country like April does. Yeah, all of my I've got a ton of moonflower pot plants come up in that rock garden this year. And if they all survive, I'm going to have moonflowers going out my ears. They're free, Seabreeze. You're a newcomer, I'll send you a package free. How's that? And if you plant them and they ever produce a flower, you will always have as many seeds for moonflowers as you'll ever want because they'll produce you hundreds of seeds. I sent April clematis seeds in Hawaii, and she said hers were going like crazy. They're beautiful. They're blooming like crazy. Mine are blooming now, some of them, but not out at the entrance of the garden. I have several different types of clematis, and the ones I put out there in the entrance of the garden, they don't come up as fast as the ones over here on the side of the house. My cat just played an April Fool joke on me. I couldn't find her. She was sleeping in the box that I had all the chocolate bunnies in, and I gave my family and closed it. I called her. She meowed and found her. It probably smelled good in there. Maybe she liked the chocolate smell. There was probably still a hint of chocolate smell in the box. That's where Sisi's from. I'm in Mississippi. Can I still plant them? Yeah, you can plant them. They come up every year. They'll come up this time of year, and mine already has flower buds on them. They're going to be blooming pretty soon. Plant them, let them grow, harvest your seeds off of the pods, because after the flower dies, it'll turn into a ball about that big around. And let the ball dry on the bush. When you see it start to crack open, cut that ball off. Open it up and you'll have tons of seeds inside and you can replant more. But the plant itself will die down and a new plant will come up in that spot the following year. Or anywhere you let the seeds fall to the ground where the plant is, if you don't harvest that pot of seeds, it busts open and drops seeds everywhere. You'll have hundreds of moonflower plants come up. So they're not hard to get to grow. They grow. And they'll come up every year. But they do die down in the wintertime. They'll die like they're completely gone. And then in the springtime, this time of year, they come back. As soon as the warm weather turns, they'll come back up. Mine you sent me last year grew super small and never grew. Maybe it was the type of dirt or soil they were planted in, Ashley. They like a good rich compost soil. Oh, Jess takes care of your babies when you're gone. Did you put fertilizer or any type of compost or garden soil or anything like that, cow manure, anything like that to those plants? Because, see, I was thinking that might be why my Amanda Villa's not bloomed. I've had it for 2 years now. It's not bloomed yet. But it's almost up to the top of the arbor. And I put some of that good rich garden soil to it this year. And it's growing like crazy. I'm hoping it will bloom. Well, try that, Ashley. If they come up this year, go ahead and put fertilizer or compost or cow manure or something to them. And that might be why they're not blooming. Because mine grew kind of small last year. But since I put that garden soil to them this year that's got broken down mushrooms and cow manure and all that good rich stuff in that soil that helps plants grow, they're getting really big this year. They look good too. Oh, you moved. Oh no. So you don't have seeds or your flowers anymore. I think I have your mailing address, so I can send you another package of them, Ashley. I've got plenty. I'll get a package out to you and some out to Seabreeze. So where are you at now? How is the soil where you would plant them at now? Yeah, you got to fertilizer and put cow manure and all that good stuff to your plants to get them to do stuff. Let me write it down so I don't forget to send Ashley. There. That way I don't forget it. I got it written down. I get so busy doing so many different things, sometimes I forget what I'm doing. I start one thing, I'm off on 3 other things, and then I'll go around to the first thing, and I said, oh man, I didn't never finish that. I got to go back and finish it. I don't even know, Seabreeze. I haven't thought about what for supper. Maybe some leftover shrimp gumbo. That's what I fixed for my son Saturday. Because I don't think he's ever eaten shrimp gumbo before. So I bought some more shrimp and I fixed more gumbo. And I fixed corn on the cob, vegetables, homemade biscuits. And I told him, I said, you're eating a real Cajun meal today. Well, when it comes in bags and you don't know it's cow manure, it just looks like garden soil because it's already broken down and stuff. And you can buy it pretty cheap in the bags, maybe for a couple of dollars for a great big bag. Yeah, try putting cow manure or some really good rich garden soil to them, or some good fertilizer, flower fertilizer, and that'll help them bloom. Corned beef in the crock pot, Ashley says. You gonna cook cabbage in it? Usually if I fix corned beef, I have corned beef and cabbage. Taters in the garden. Yep, that sounds good. My potatoes are growing good, but I don't know if they're going to produce any potatoes or not. And I figure they'll produce quick enough that I can turn around and plant something else where the potatoes were. Hi, Vegan Menu. How's your April Fool's Day going? I had people coming into chat wondering what's going on. I'm worried about your thumbnail and your title to your live video. What's going on? And I waited till mostly everybody got in chat, and then I said, April Fools. I had to wait till everybody got in the chat before I pulled the April Fools on them. It was the only way I knew to get a bunch of people in on one April Fool joke. I know I got Gladys. I don't know about anybody else. I had somebody tell me they were going to send me a truck. They were sending a refrigerator truck my way with crawdads. They thought they'd let me know before they got here. Make sure I was home. I almost went in a panic. I said, what am I going to do with crawdads? I've never bought crawdads before. I've never cooked crawdads before. What am I going to do with them? I messaged back to him and I said, what am I going to do with them? How do I cook them? Where do I put them until I cook them? And, you know. And then they finally said, April Fools. I said, well, you got me good. I haven't played one on Facebook, but I couldn't resist doing it on my live today. That's what the live was all about, was playing the April Fools on everybody. And Yemen is here. They love potatoes. He loves potatoes. Well, I was sent some red macaroni Marconi peppers that I've planted, and the seeds are finally coming up in the greenhouse in the little pots. And then I've got I can't think of the name of the other pepper, and it's coming up. So I'm going to be planting those out in the garden pretty soon. Probably in the next few days or so. Because I've saved a bunch of empty pots over here on this side for peppers, for tomatoes, and other stuff that I've got in the shed that I haven't planted in the bigger pots yet. And I still got a watermelon vine in there I need to get out and planted somewhere. And I've got a, what is it, a yellow medallion squash or something. I don't remember. Melon. I can't remember if I got that last one out to plant it anywhere. I had 2 blueberry bushes last year that I bought. I planted them in 5-gallon buckets. Neither one of them survived. They died over the winter. And I think maybe it's because they didn't have the right acidity in the soil that I planted them in. I don't know, because I've never planted blueberries before. But I got a raspberry bush out there that's growing crazy. I don't know if it's going to produce raspberries this year. I hope so. This year it's about the polka dot pepper. I've never heard of a polka dot pepper. I bet that's interesting looking. Well, I planted mine as soon as I could because I wanted to be able to harvest the potatoes and then go ahead and plant something else in their spot. to get before cold weather this year. And I'm told you're supposed to harvest them after the flowers bloom. I think they say when the potato plant is producing flowers, blooms, it's putting out potatoes. So I think after that, when the plant itself starts to die down some, they claim you have potatoes. So we'll see. I don't know. Yeah, I trimmed it back last year, and I swore I will never trim my raspberry bush again because I stunted its growth. And I didn't trim it this time, and it's growing like crazy. And it's putting up new shoots from the roots. So it's going to be pretty good size. I'm going to have to start moving it out from where it's at and putting it somewhere else and give it room, because those vines like hang over 6-7 feet. Yep, I got Charleston gray watermelons planted. I've got oh, I can't think of the black diamond watermelon. I know I've got those two. And I've got seeds for another kind that I got last year, but I didn't plant any of those this year, and I need to get some of those out. I said I'm liable to have my yard overrun with watermelon vines on that side of the green shed when they start vining out. But that's okay as long as they'll give me some watermelon. But that's why I planted them over there, because, you know, that's the only thing that's planted on that side of the shed is watermelon. So they can go crazy. They'll get up my neighbor's yard. They won't mind it if they get a watermelon or two over there, I'm sure. Oh, your heavenly grandmother's birthday is today. Well, happy birthday to your heavenly grandmother. The one Linda reminds me of. Oh, I remind you of your grandmother? Well, that's probably some sweet memories. Because anytime I think of my grandmothers, I always have good thoughts. Ashley Chapman said hers was on St. Patrick's Day. Oh, well, thank you if I remind you of your grandmother. Well, we're going to have a birthday celebration sometime maybe close toward the end of April, because we've already got 4 birthdays for April. And we'll include Ashley in our April birthday celebration, even though hers was in St. Patty's Day. All of the birthdays, past, present, and future, will be the end of this month sometime. We'll try to do one a month, maybe, for a birthday celebration, and get you up on screen. Get all the birthday people up there so everybody can see them. So I'll probably announce it when we go live for the birthday celebration, that I want all the birthday people in live chat to get up on screen with me. If we can get them up there. I know I can get 5. So if there's Ashley and the 4 for April, that'll be 5 people other than me. I think it'll be fun. People left comments saying that they really had a good time at the other celebration. And they enjoyed getting to see who some of the people looked like that they'd been chatting with, you know. On that one chat that I got everybody up on, well, not everybody, but I got 4 other people up on screen with me. Or 5 people. No, I don't have chickens. My neighbor across the street has chickens and a rooster. So in my videos, when you hear chickens and roosters, that's where those chickens are coming from. They're coming across the street behind that privacy fence. That's where they're at. I know in the beginning when I started going live, people always say, Do you have chickens? I hear chickens. I hear a rooster. I said, no, they belong to my neighbor. Yeah, I pulled the watermelon vine out last year because it was growing crazy and I didn't think it was going to produce any watermelon. And oh my God, I could have kicked myself when I pulled the last part of it out. I pulled it out, and at the end of the vine, there was 3 watermelons about that big around. And I said, golly, if I'd have left it, I'd have had me 3 watermelons at least. So I'm not going to be pulling any of them out this year. They're going to be right there until they die. I don't know where Ann Watson is. She may not have been able to come in to chat today. You know, all the people can't be in every live chat. They got other things that they do, places they go. And I do know from Anna's Mobile Home Life channel that she's home. She posted a video day before yesterday that she's home. And I haven't got a chance to see if she's posted one since. But she's finally home from the hospital. They let her go home instead of staying in rehab all this time, because they wanted her there in rehab for several weeks. But she talked them into letting her go home and letting her do her own IV of antibiotics and stuff. And she's got a nurse that comes in to check on her. So if any of you, like before, if you're asking about Anna's Mobile Home Life, just go to her channel and you can check up on her updates. The RC van man turned my garden. So you must live close together, Ashley. Seabree says, I talk a lot but can't type fast. That's me. And when I type fast on this computer, it comes up as gibberish when it goes into chat. Or you know how sometimes the thing will change the letters on you? Look like you're typing Chinese. Oh man, I've had fun with this April Fool's joke. I hope nobody got mad at me for doing it. I know I saw Gladys's first comment before I went live. I could see what she commented to Connie. She says, Connie, what's going on? That thumbnail scares me. And I said, that's exactly the reaction I wanted to get. Maybe to get people to come in to see what's going on. And I guess it kind of worked. But it was all for April Fools, y'all. That was my way of getting an April Fool's joke played on a whole bunch of you at one time. Everybody that come into live chat. Somewhat they are. But I've been out in my shed pulling stuff out and messing out in there in the yard. I wore a mask, but still. But see, my allergies are kind of bad today because I got up this morning and my eyes were almost swollen shut because of the campfire I had last night that I posted the video of. I got some of that smoke in my eyes and I breathed some of it. I look terrible. I mean, they're still swollen on the top and the bottom, but not as bad as they were when I first got up this morning. Lime basil seeds. Well, you know, I've not been able to find any kind of basil except just regular basil here in the stores, but I haven't tried ordering any. I wanted to try some of the different types of basil. I got one, somehow I got in this seed of, it was basil, but it almost smelled like licorice, and I don't know what kind of basil that was. But somehow it got mixed in my basil seeds last year. They come from Dollar General. I haven't checked in Dollar General. Maybe I need to go in there and check and see what they got. But yeah, like I said, I bought a package of basil seeds. I don't remember where I bought them. But that was the only package of seeds for basil I had. I planted them, and when I harvested basil to dry it, some of that basil was a little bit different. And I noticed when it grew, part of the plants looked a tiny bit different. And it smelled like licorice. And I don't know what that type of basil is called. I haven't seen any snakes around here in years, many years. In this subdivision, we've got so many people moving in. There's so much traffic that I think it keeps the snakes away now. The snakes stay down the hill closer to the lake where the water is. I don't think many of them come up this high anymore. Because I live at the top of this mountain. Came with lavender and mint. I bought lavender and I planted a few seeds. I don't know if it ever came up or not. I thought it would be pretty just to see it grow. But I don't know if it came up. And I've got peppermint. I never could find just regular mint leaves, those seeds to plant. I mean, I could have ordered them, I guess, but I was looking here locally in the stores. And all any of the stores had was peppermint. So I bought peppermint seed and I planted them. I've got several pots of peppermint. I don't like snakes either. But like I said, I've not seen any snakes up here in many, many years. I used to see them crossing the street. Or not see them crossing the street. I'd see them dead in the street where they'd been hit by a car and killed. But I've never seen any live water moccasins or rattlesnakes or anything like that in my yard. And I hope I don't jinx myself and start seeing them, because I don't want to see them. Well, thank you, Seabreeze. I can't wait till my moonflowers open this year. Because my plants look so much better this year. They're bigger. The leaves are bigger than they were last year because of that garden soil that I got to put on them. That was the best fertilizer I could have ever put to my rock gardens and all my vegetables. My son saw that out there and he said, "Mom, you need to get busy and you got a bunch of dirt to move." I said, "Oh my God." I said, "That's only a fourth of what I had." I said, "I had a whole truckload out there." And I said, "That's only about a fourth of what was there." But I said, "I can only move a little bit at a time. I can't get out there and move that whole pile in one day." So I've been putting it to everything I got growing. My crepe myrtle trees, my rose bushes, everything. Well, thank you, Seabreeze. I've tried. I hope everything produces this year. Yeah, I don't like snakes. I remember one time where I used to live in North Carolina. I came out my front door one day. I didn't look down at first. And we had cinder blocks for steps. I stepped out and went to put my foot down, and I don't know what made me look down, but I looked down with my foot in midair, and there was a rattlesnake curled up, basically looking up at me. And if I'd have put my foot down, I would have stepped on him. He was on the step. I just froze. I lifted my foot back up and I backed up in the house. I backed up a couple of steps and I just kind of like ran toward the door and jumped over the steps several feet out into the yard to get away from that snake. And I turned back and I slammed the door. I jumped. And when I did, I kind of pushed the door so it would close so he couldn't go in the house. And I got in the yard. I ran over to my next door neighbor, who was my in-laws at the time. And I told him, there's a rattlesnake on my step. I said I had to jump over him to get out of the door. But by the time we got back over there, he'd gone. I don't know if he went into the cinder blocks where you couldn't see him or if he crawled off. But by the time I got back to the steps, he was gone. And I never saw another one after that, which was a good thing. My daughter had a 12-foot python named Toby. I sat down and he came out looking at me in my eyes. Oh, God. I know that was terrifying, but that's funny. Oh. Did y'all read Connie Jones's comment? She said her daughter had a 12-foot python named Toby. She hid him under the sofa cushion. I sat down, and he came out looking at me, looking in my eyes. I peed myself. Lord, I was terrified. Oh, my God. I think I would have peed my pants, too, if I'd have sat down on a darn snake that big come up and looked at me. Yeah, it's not cheap, a load, but usually if you get the garden soil, they've got all kind of broken down mushrooms and cow manure and all kind of good stuff mixed up all in that soil that is fantastic for your garden. It's the best fertilizer you'll ever get for anything that you plant, whether it be flowers or vegetables, trees, you name it. He passed away several years ago. Lord, I have never wished an animal to pass away in my life, but I got. Oh, I was relieved when he passed. I hated dealing with him. I'd be afraid I'd wake up in the middle of the night and my arm would be down his throat. Yeah, I'd be afraid I'd wake up and that python would think I was dinner. And either half my arm would be down his throat and body or my leg. And that's how I woke up, with him swallowing me. I mean, I'm sure he would have to stop by the time he got to my full body, but I think he could handle my leg or my arm. I'd be terrified to have a python. I know one of my son's friends that he went to school with and grew up with here in town. He had python. And he had it for a long time, and it got pretty big. He'd go buy these big rats and stuff to feed that python. He'd give him at least one rat a day. And he would turn him loose and just let him go all over the house. But I tell you, I said, that python's a pretty good sized python now. And he would be one for sure that I'd be afraid I'd wake up in the middle of the night and my arm would be down his mouth. Or if I had a little kid in the house, I'd be afraid he'd half swallow a kid before I'd know he was doing it. I said, I'd be scared to death to have a snake that big, especially a python. I mean, I know they're not poisonous, but they can eat you. They will swallow you alive, girl. Oh, my goodness. Ashley says her and her little girl planted flower seeds throughout the flower beds today. Well, good. Maybe they'll all come up. Mine are all coming up, and I'm so glad it's supposed to rain this evening, because when I heard it was going to rain, I didn't water. I mean, I could get out there later this evening and go ahead and water. But if it's going to rain, there's no really need for me to do that. And it'll help the rest of my seeds come up. I mean, I may just water in this rock garden later this evening, out in the front too, just in case it doesn't rain. Because sometimes, they issue warnings like that, and it'll rain everywhere around us, and it don't rain a drop here. I mean, I'm not worried about the rest of the stuff. I can water that with compost tea, but the little rock garden on the side to the front of the house and over here, I can at least drag the water hose out there and water that a little bit this evening, if it's not raining by then. I've been lucky here lately. Seemed like every Sunday or Monday it's rained, so I didn't have to get out there and water. I've used my compost tea buckets, in between days to keep everything damp, because it hasn't gotten that hot yet. Time for a rain dance. I got up in one of my other videos and did that rain dance. I didn't call it a rain dance, but that's what I was thinking of when I did it. Because we needed rain then, remember? It was so dry and hot. No rain and them rationing water. Oh my God, it was a terrible time. Did you plant any blanket flowers, Ashley? They're a wildflower, and that's what comes up in my yard every year, and they bloom almost all summer, those big yellow ones that I show in my videos, and they spread all over the yard. They're blanket flowers. They're a wildflower, but usually you can buy them anywhere they sell flowers or vegetable seed, and they'll come up every year and spread. Oh, well, it was a pack of wildflower seed. Well, if it was mixed seed, it probably had some of the blanket flower seed in there. That's what I did. I bought like bags. They had these bags like this big, like a cloth bag, where I ordered my flower seed. And I ordered 2 or 3 of those little bags, which I don't know how much it weighed, but, seeds aren't very heavy. But that's how I got all my wildflowers coming up in my yard. I've got bluebonnets, I've got purple flowers, I've got blue ones, I've got pink, I've got yellow, orange, burgundy, and they're all wildflower seeds. I got 2 or 3 different types of yellow ones that come up out there. I couldn't get grass to grow because of all the rocks and boulders. Because even if you watered it, the rocks and boulders would get so hot it just fried the grass. It would burn it up, even the weeds. So I don't water my yard. Those wildflowers come up, they bloom on their own, they'll live where nothing else will. And they'll come back every year. I saw those tubes coming from the tubes, and you call it compost water. Oh, you saw the tubes coming out of the totes, the pots? Yeah, because see, I've got all this good rich dirt and compost with stuff planted in it already in those totes and buckets. And the drain tubes go into the empty bucket. So when I overwater, the excess water runs back in the bucket. Or if it rains a lot and it floods the tote or the pot, the excess water will run down in that pot or bucket, and I can take it and water other plants with it when they need it. So it's a way to save on compost tea and fertilizer and water, is to do that. That's why I'm doing it, because we're so restricted on water usage. I try to conserve every bit of water that I possibly can. I still use a dishpan in my sink to wash my dishes. And then when it's dry, I take the dishwater out and I water some of my plants with it. Plants love dishwater because it has the little remnants and crumbs of the food and stuff in the water. And that's like putting fertilized water to your plants. I mean, I can't do all of them, but I water the arbor with the mandeville and the clematis, my hollyhocks, and a few other things right here close to the porch. I water with my dishpan. I know it looks kind of odd that I've got a dishpan sitting in my sink, washing dishes out of a dishpan when I could wash them out of the sink. But I just take the dishpan and then dump it in the flower pots. I think the pythons can squeeze you too. Because isn't that how one of these people that owned a python died one time? Her snakes were in somebody else's building, and seemed like she went in there to check on them. Or either the snakes belonged to somebody and she had something in there too. And she'd go in there once in a while checking on what she had in there. And she started messing with one of the snakes in there one day when she was there. And when other people went to look for her, they found her. She was totally wrapped up by that python. He strangled her to death. He wrapped her around her neck, and he was so strong she couldn't get him loose. And the more you move, the tighter they'll squeeze, from what I understand. But those pythons also basically swallow their prey whole, and then their stomach digests the food or kills it. And those great big pythons have been known when they've been killed. They found whole human bodies in a python belly before. They found whole animals in a python that had been cut open before. And like I said, my son's friend that owned that python, his python had gotten so big, he couldn't get enough food to feed him. So he started going buying rabbits, feeding him rabbits, 1 rabbit a day. And that snake could take it in one gulp. And I said, well, if he can swallow a rabbit, he could swallow a baby too. He could swallow my arm. He could get my leg in his mouth. He ain't gonna be in my house. I don't want to be nowhere around him. But he pretty soon got rid of him. I don't know if he gave him to a zoo or gave him to somebody else that could better take care of him than him, as big as he got. But I do know he got rid of that python. Oh, you saw that, Sea Breeze? Oh, you're talking about my pots. Yeah, if they wrap around you, they can squeeze you to death. Oh, you did updates on your computer? I had to do some updates on mine too. I got a message that had updates waiting. So I went ahead and turned it off and rebooted it so it would update. I get them on my phone too every once in a while. Well, we've been on here for 2 hours. I've still got a bunch to do. You people have probably got stuff to do, and I don't want to keep you on here all afternoon, as much as I love it. But I figure you're probably getting tired of looking at my face and listening to me talk. But I'll get those moonflower seeds out to Sea Breeze and to Ashley. Yeah, next time when you plant them, Ashley, just make sure you put some good compost or garden soil or cow manure or something to them. Because, you know, they need food to produce flowers and stuff, just like anybody else or anything else. So, y'all have a blessed April Fool's Day. And don't be too mad at me for getting all of you on here for April Fools. The devil made me do it. Not really. I get a kick out of it. No, not just an anaconda. Python can too. Yeah, I thought the pythons did too. But I know an anaconda will squeeze you to death and they can swallow you whole too, just like a python. But if you have to start buying rabbits to feed a python, that snake is too big for me to have in my house. He ain't coming in here. Not if I can help it. I don't want to be anywhere around him. I want to keep my toes and hands and arms. Y'all have a blessed day. I'll see you on my next one. Bye now. Love y'all. Bye.